Hello and welcome to this, our third and final feature video for By Blood Alone. My name's Peter Nicholson, Game Director on Heartsofiron 4, and today we'll be taking a look at some of the last features to be introduced in BBA. We'll be beginning with Divisional Command. In By Blood Alone, we'll be upgrading the system that previously existed to hire new commanders, new generals. In By Blood Alone, every division is going to have its own commander. They don't necessarily confer statistical bonuses, but they're there as a sort of baseline for you to draw from as a pool to upgrade to generals. They're going to earn experience over time, as well as apply history entries for the deeds that they do. For instance, you can capture strategic locations, you can capture airfields, they could be involved in important combats or perform encirclements and stack wipe enemy troops. For these things, they will earn something called a history entry. So you'll be able to see these in a log in the division's history. And for some of these, you will be able to award a medal. Medals themselves do confer bonuses, so using this system, you'll be able to reward the divisions that you're particularly attached to. You'll be able to give them some unique features compared to the others, and you'll really be able to reinforce that attachment to the divisions that you feel have served you well during combat. Medals will be tracked on the unit. You'll be able to see the medals history and the various history entries that a unit possesses. You'll be able to stack the effects with diminishing returns. And if you promote a commander from a division to being a full general, they will take a copy of these for flavor reasons with them. Unit Cohesion is a new battle plan setting that we'll be introducing in the Avalanche patch. You'll be able to choose from one of 3 settings for cohesion, and this will affect primarily how the automated unit assignment system works along that front line. If you choose the middle setting, balanced cohesion, you'll find that the battle plan and the unit adjustment system will work more or less as before. Units will relocate themselves along the front line to fill holes. You have 2 slightly stricter settings after that, which will mean that the units relocate from a much shorter distance to try and fill gaps. Anything beyond that, they won't relocate. So in short, you're going to find a lot less shuffling if you use the setting above balanced. There is, of course, a rigid cohesion setting, and this means that units will only relocate themselves from provinces next door to where they currently are. This can leave holes, so you should consider this an advanced setting. In the Avalanche patch, battle plans will have dynamically generated names. For many of them, they'll be drawn from a list of historical operations that relate to the states that you're creating the battle plan along. You could create a front line against Poland as Germany, and you'd probably find that the name drawn from the pool would be Fall of Ice. Likewise, if you create a front line as Germany against the Soviet Union, you might end up with Operation Barbarossa. There are many of these, so there will be a lot of historical options there. You'll also be able to rename them yourself. With Divisional Command covered, we're going to take to the skies and take a look at the plane designer.
So the reason why we're adding a plane designer is because we already have a ship designer and a tank designer, and people have been asking for it for a long time. You can design your own tanks, you can design your own ships. Why would planes be that different, right? You choose a size of airframe, depending on what you want to build, and then you decide what kind of weapons you put on it, how many engines you put on it, how big the engines should be, and what other modules you can put on it, like extra fuel tanks, for example. So modules are what gives the plane its abilities. A module can be a machine gun or a bomb. If you have a bomb on the airplane, then it can attack ground targets. If you have a machine gun, it can attack air targets. And these modules are unlocked through technology. Some of them will be unlocked in the air tech tree. Air-to-air radar will be unlocked through radar research, as one might expect. And some of the guns can be found in the artillery tree. We sat down and we looked at how people of the time designed airplanes, like what were their considerations that they had to take into account. We wanted to recreate that. From there, you kind of start to think about what kind of items were commonly found on planes, like machine guns and bombs, to represent these choices that the historical actors had to make. These are sort of the underlying rules that we need to put into the plane designer. From there, you then go, okay, here are other options. We want to give the player a lot of choices. We want to have a lot of different playstyles that they can try out and experiment with or alter to fit the situation that the country that they're playing in is in. The balancing of the plane designer is still very much in development. It's something that is still being balanced as we shoot this video. The balance is orientated on the current system, so there shouldn't be any wild swings in sort of effectiveness. So if you have a strategy that worked with the current air system, it will probably still work with the new system. And it will probably not be quite as good. So one of the design or balance goals for the plane designer was to take a look at some of the plane types that people have identified as like a little bit overpowered and tone them down a little bit. Cast planes and naval bombers in particular will probably not be as strong as they are in the current meta. But that's sort of the beauty of this system, is that it gives us a lot more screws that we can, loosen and tighten a little bit to change the balance around. So the transport planes in the plane designer work exactly as they do now because they still use the old system. We looked into that early in the design phase, and we figured that making fully modular, designable transport planes would open up too many edge cases, too many weird exploits, and that has repercussions both for multiplayer but also for things that the AI needs to consider, and we decided to just not touch that.
That's it for now, but release is just around the corner. For those of you who opt to pre-order, you can get access to the new song Bella Ciao with BBA. Make sure to follow us on social media to stay up to date, and thank you once again.